And hello YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of the Zone TV Movie Entertainment with my Doctor Strange movie review. I got to saw the movie last night, and I gotta say, first of all, this movie is awesome. Finally, it nailed Doctor Strange. I was so happy that they actually brought him into the Marvel Universe, because honestly, he's my third favorite Marvel character. And what I liked about this movie was that Benjamin Cumberbatch, he played it so well. It was just like watching. He played it so differently than I expected him to play it, but it was so cool too. Because, in this movie you see him being, like, overconfident because he's basically a surgeon. And, he's one of the best, Everybody goes to him. If there's, like, a surgery that somebody needs to happen, they go for him for advice, they go for him for this and that. And he basically is like, relax, I'll handle it. And he basically does everything he needs to do. Unfortunately, something happens to him where he gets into an accident. I don't want to spoil anything, but that prevents him from doing his work anymore. And then he starts to lose it, and then he decides, I need to get certain things fixed within my life. So he goes to another country where he meets the Ancient One, Tilda Swinton. And he basically finds out that she has the power to, not really the power to do, basically heal, but basically to unlock his powers. Apparently he has powers that he never knew, and he was like wondering what the heck is going on. And basically he becomes Doctor Strange by studying magic, if you want to call it that. I mean, obviously in Asgard they call it science, but here they're actually using the word magic. So basically he stays up there training with her, and he taps into the power of magic, and now we have Doctor Strange. And then of course he meets his friend and Chiwetel Ejiofor playing, obviously, Mordo. Yeah, Mordo. And basically they have to stop a former student of the Ancient One from basically bringing another dimension being to Earth to control the universe, if you will. So, is this movie good? Yes, it is. This movie's awesome. The visual effects in this movie is beyond crazy, because if you've seen the trailers, how everything just turns, like, it's basically going into Alice in Wonderland. All the clock turns and everything turning upside down, and sidewalks and buildings mishmashing. It was chaotic and awesome at the same time. And this movie had humor too. I didn't think this movie was going to be that funny, but it was really funny too. I really liked Rachel McAdams. She was actually pretty cool. She plays a nurse who's actually, who hooked up with Doctor Strange, and then they're just friends, but there's still something between them. She was cool in the movie. Matt Mikkelsen as the bad guy, he was okay. I liked him, I didn't like him. I'll get to him in my negative once I talk about that. But like I said, I really enjoyed this movie. It had a very Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon feel to me in this movie, because you see him going to a temple, you see him training how to use his powers, and then it was basically watching Batman Begins for Marvel. That's basically what this movie was, and mastering his powers, and him becoming basically the ultimate one, or the Sorcerer Supreme. And he basically can do anything he needs to do. But there were things in here I didn't like. I felt like Matt Mikkelsen's character was good, but he wasn't great. I mean, if he was working on his own, just to get revenge and, on the Ancient One, because, he wanted to learn more, and she's like, no, you can't, then I wouldn't be like, well, he was a cool character. I understand why he was going after her and whatnot. But he was basically being controlled and taking orders from a higher authority. And, I wanted to see this higher authority in this movie, because he's one of the biggest Marvel Doctor Strange villains. But I figured they couldn't just wait for him until the next one. I wouldn't mind, but, you do see him in this movie, but I don't want to spoil too much about it. But when you see this character, you'd be like, okay. I wish they just saved him for the next one. It would have been a lot better. But like I said, he was okay. It wasn't He's probably maybe a little higher up now than all the other Marvel villains besides Loki and Red Skull, but he's up there. But he was okay for a villain. I believe it's Rachel McAdams who plays Doctor Strange's girl. I'm probably butchering her name, but I'm probably sorry about that. But like I said, she was. I wish she had more screen time. Really, she was just there and in and out, and that was fine. And then you have Baron Mordo. Now, in the comics, something happens to him that that changes his whole character around. I don't want to say what it is, but it made it too obvious in the movie that what was going to happen with him. I just wish they wouldn't extended that to maybe the sequel, so that way eventually maybe by the third one you find out what happens to him. But yeah, other than that, those are little minor things I didn't like about the movie. Still enjoy this movie a lot. Gotta say it was awesome. Right now I'm probably gonna keep it in like top 5. I have no idea where I'm gonna keep it, but I still enjoyed the movie. There were 2 after credits. Gotta let you know, if you're a Marvel fan, stay for both. If you knew the comic of Doctor Strange, I highly recommend just watching the first credit and then just leaving, because if you know the comic of Doctor Strange and what's going to happen to a certain character, might as well just leave. There's no point. The ending credit one is just basically just for the fans of the movies. But like I said, if you want to watch both, there are 2, so let you put that alone. But that mid-credit scene though does talk about the next movie, so that's cool. So yeah, I'm gonna give this movie an 8% out of 10. It was great. I love this movie. So yeah, there you go. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about the movie, if you've seen it, and are you gonna see it? And yeah, so thank you and have a good day.